The diencephalon consists mostly of the hypothalamus and the thalamus, but it is this area right here. The thalamus is here, and the hypothalamus is here. The hypothalamus is the section of the brain that controls all of or most of your involuntary homeostasis functions, such as controlling your blood your blood pH, your body temperature, your heart rate, your breathing rate. That is all controlled here in the hypothalamus. The pituitary gland is one of the major glands within the body that is found underneath the cerebrum here. The brains we will be dissecting will not have the pituitary gland attached. So we have the thalamus, which is here. Then we have the hypothalamus, which is here. The pituitary gland. The pineal gland, which is your day clock, is here. And here's the brainstem. The brainstem has three major portions. Here is the midbrain. The midbrain is a center for auditory and visual reflex. The pons is the middle section here. The pons is a relay between the body and the brain. We have the medulla oblongata, which is this bottom portion here, which connects to the spinal cord. There is a cardiac center, a vasomotor center, and a respiratory center. So it controls a little bit of blood pressure, opening and closing of blood vessels, and respiratory rates. Mistakenly in the movie Waterboy, the professor says that the medulla oblongata has to do with anger, and that actually is not true. Anger is centered in the amygdala, and that's where the amygdala would be within the brain. Then we're on to the cerebellum. The cerebellum is that kind of smaller portion of the brain below the cerebrum, or back behind the cerebrum if you're looking at an animal brain. The cerebellum in Latin means tree, and you can kind of look at this section here and see how they got that definition, because when you cut it open, it kind of looks like a big tree. The cerebellum has to do with balance and knowing where your body is in space. So the fact that you can get up, move around, and walk around something and not fall over and not think that you're walking upside down has to do with your cerebellum and knowing where you are in space. Cranial nerves. We have 12 cranial nerves. With the cranial nerves, you're going to need to know the name of the nerve, the number of the nerve, and the function of the nerve. So you should know that nerve number 1 is olfactory, and that olfactory is for smelling. You do not need to be able to identify them on the picture of a brain, with two exceptions. You should know the olfactory and the optic, because when we're dissecting, those are two that we're going to actually point out. So you should be able to actually point those ones out on a brain. Olfactory is number 1, and this is your sense of smell. 2 is optic. This is your sense of vision. 3 is ocular motor, so it's going to be moving those eyes back and forth. 4 is the trochlear. This is going to be the smallest of your cranial nerves, and trochlear also has to do with eye movements. Trigeminal is number 5. This is the largest. There are actually 3 portions of the trigeminal. We have tri means 3. So we have the ophthalmic, and this is going to innervate the eye area. We have the maxillary. This is going to innervate the upper lip. And then we have the mandibular, which is going to innervate the lower jaw. Number 6 is the abducens. The abducens has to do with eye movement. Number 7 is facial. Facial is facial expression and taste within part of the tongue. Number 8 is vestibulocochlear. There are 2 portions to this. We have the vestibular. The vestibular is going to be for balance. And then we have the cochlear. The cochlear is going to be for hearing. So number 9 is the glossopharyngeal. This is going to innervate the tongue, speech, swallowing. 10 is the vagus, which innervates speech, swallowing, and some smooth muscle within the abdomen. Number 11 is the accessory. The accessory will innervate the larynx, the trapezius muscle, and parts of the neck. And number 12, we have hypoglossal. This is speech, swallowing, and some chewing. I have a couple ways to help you remember the order and the function of some of the cranial nerves. To help you remember the order, we have O, once, one, takes the anatomy, final, very good vacations are heavenly. So we have O once one takes the anatomy final, very good vacations are heavenly. We have O, ophthalmic, once, optic, one, ocular motor, takes, trochlear, the, trigeminal, anatomy, abducens, final, facial, very, vestibular cochlear, good, glossopharyngeal, vacations, vagus. And if you remember that you would go on vacation to Vegas, that can help you remember that the V for Vegas goes with vacation as opposed to vestibular cochlear, because Vegas, vacation. R, accessory, heavenly, hypoglossal. O once one takes the anatomy final, very good vacations are heavenly. The other one that helps remember some of the functions of the nerve is you have one nose, two eyes, and 3, 4, 6 make your eyes do tricks. So you have one nose, so number 1 is olfactory. You have 2 eyes, so 2 is optic. 3, 4, and 6 all have to do with making your eyes move. So 3, 4, 6 make your eyes do tricks. So those are 2 ways to help you remember some of the function and the order of the cranial nerves. And make sure you do know your Roman numerals. Just to review Roman numerals real quick, I is 1. So when you have I, that is 2. I is 3. A V is 5. So when the I comes before that, it would be 5 minus 1, which would be 4. V is 5. And then you do VI is 6. VII, 6 plus 2, or 5 plus 2 is 7. VII, so 5 plus 3 is 8. And then we need to do X, which is 10 minus 1, would be 9. X is 10. X plus 1 is 11. X plus 2 is 12. So you'll need to remember those as well. The nervous system has 2 main subdivisions. One, the somatic nervous system. The somatic nervous system is your voluntary nervous system. This mostly controls your skeletal muscle, as your skeletal muscle is voluntarily controlled. Your autonomic nervous system is automatic, and there are 2 portions to the autonomic nervous system. We have the sympathetic. Sympathetic is your fight or flight. So this is your adrenaline rush. The sympathetic nervous system is going to decrease blood flow to your gut and increase blood flow to your muscles. It's going to relax your bladder. It's going to allow your pupils to dilate. It's going to increase your heart rate, so that way you have the ability to fight. Your blood is going to your muscles, to your heart, and allowing as much light as possible in, so that way all of your energy is going to using your muscle to fight or flight or to run away. The opposite of that is your parasympathetic. Your parasympathetic is kind of your normal state, hopefully where you're at right now. Parasympathetic, all of your energy is going towards digesting food. So you're going to have less blood flow to your muscles and more blood flow to your gut. You're going to have constricted pupils. You're going to be able to kind of hold your bladder a little bit easier. Energy is going to be going towards digesting food and away from the muscle. So sympathetic is your fight or flight. This is controlled by norepinephrine. It's all of the energy going towards your skeletal muscle and your heart, where parasympathetic is your normal state. This is your relaxed state. And all of your energy is going to be more focused on digesting food and taking care of your cells.